Hello and welcome to the Indian Express. It was another eventful day in Parliament today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi replied to the motion of thanks debate on the President's address, and in a rare development, amendment moved by the opposition got carried. I have Mr. Shubhajit Roy with me, who was in Rajya Sabha covering the proceedings during the day. Shubhajit, the Prime Minister was not unusually combative, and there was some reaching out also we saw in between. So, how do you read the speech of Prime Minister Modi today?
Well, Manoj, the Prime Minister was combative and targeted the Congress throughout his speech. And like, for example, he compared Congress party with death and said that, Congress never gets the blame, whereas the entire opposition is named whenever it is attacked. Then he also sort of sarcastically told the leader of opposition, Ghulam Nabi Azad, that he's been looking for loopholes for the working of the government's Chandhan Yojana with a microscope.
Using that microscope.
Yeah, using that microscope, and said that if you had worked with a binocular when you were in power, then I wouldn't have had to do what I'm doing today. Also, he took on the criticism of centralization of power very seriously, and sort of responded that how the government had decentralized a lot of its powers. Also, he said that that he referred to the Environment Minister Jayanti Natarajan's case, where the environmental clearances were all being done in Delhi, and said that how he has decentralized those powers. And so in all these examples, through these examples, he tried to put Congress on the back foot. However, he also made a call or appeal to Parliament to unanimously pass the motion of thanks to the President's address, which is usually the norm. But today we saw that it was an amendment was moved and how it was passed. This is only, I believe, the second time in last 2 years that this government has been in power that such an amendment has been passed, whereas in last, I think, 60 years, only 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 occasions
it has happened.
True.
So, tell us what was the political significance of this particular move?
It's interesting to see how the numbers stacked up. At the end of the day, when the amendment was carried, the opposition had 94, and the ruling side, the government, had 61.
Right.
Now we know the BJP has only 48 members in the House. So for getting 61, obviously the AIDMK and some other parties might have helped the government.
Right.
But nevertheless, the problem that this government had been facing all around was that it is short of majority, even with the support of some friendly parties. Like AIDMK or BJD at times, it's woefully short of majority in the Rajya Sabha, which will affect its legislative agenda. There are a whole lot of bills are pending, including the all-important GST, which the government, even the Prime Minister today gave this call. But this has been pending because of these numbers. And the second part of the problem is that, the aggressiveness of this government and the Prime Minister, which does not create, the environment conducive for cooperation between government and the opposition for passage of important legislations.
Right. So, since you talked about the legislative agenda, does that mean that, the important economic reforms which are pending, and lot is internationally, the international community is looking at this government's economic reform program and how it is stuck. Will that be affected, delayed? Do you think? Will this numbers?
No, the problem for the government here is the composition of Rajya Sabha is unlikely to change in favor of the government in its first term, till 2019. There are, as we know, 5 states are going to elections in a few months' time, in April, May. But only in Assam, the ruling BJP has a hope to get more numbers. In other states, the BJP as well as the Congress are, a minor place. So next year Uttar Pradesh will be going to elections, Punjab, even if the BJP perform better in these states, in biennial elections, to get as many members, as many nominees in the Rajya Sabha, to tilt the balance in favor of the government is not possible till 2019.
Right.
So the first tenure of Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be a hurdle. You know, the Rajya Sabha is going to pose a hurdle when it comes to the government's legislative agenda.
Right.
What one expect naturally is that the government will, you know, reach out to the opposition, seek cooperation, given the fact that it is low on numbers in Rajya Sabha.
Right.
But these sort of aggressive statements, it only worsens the environment for passage of bills.
Right. So there you heard, Manoj, that today's eventful day where the amendment was passed, that might affect the legislative agenda in the months to come, and maybe the economic reforms agenda. We have to wait and watch and see how it unfolds. That's it for now. Thank you for watching Indian Express Online.